Now, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has made $1 billion in cuts, and more could be on the way. These cuts could likely trickle down to food banks and school lunch programs. With that in mind, local organizations, they're bracing for the impact of these cuts, even those who do not receive funding from the USDA. Megan Hartnett, she joins us live in studio. Megan, how are these organizations getting ready for this possibility?
Jeff, organizations are taking a closer look at how they're spending money, seeing if they're working in the most efficient way possible and doing what's necessary to not have to reduce operations. Serving kids hearty, healthy meals is the goal of connecting kids to meals, but federal cuts are making that mission a little harder.
I'm very worried about the kids who would ultimately be the ones to actually pay the ultimate price.
The organization serves close to 600,000 meals every year. These federal cuts come at a time when inflation is already creating strain.
At the end of the day, we lean heavily into our funding partners, whether that's our corporate partners, whether it's grant funders, whether it's individual donors. We're leaning heavier into them day by day.
Wendy Huntley, the organization's CEO and president, says they are looking at changes like having partners pick up meals or centralizing pickup locations to keep costs down. Organizations that rely on USDA funds aren't the only ones preparing.
Cherry Street is not funded by USDA, but we are in collaboration with literally dozens and dozens of other agencies that all serve the same client base. And when one agency is impacted, we are all impacted.
If other organizations are facing cuts, that might limit their ability to serve people, driving up the number of people coming to organizations like Cherry Street Mission Ministries. Ann Ebert, CEO of Cherry Street, says there has already been an increase in people seeking resources, and the organization is trying to manage a budget with inflation. A case of eggs cost roughly $30 last January, $87 this January, and more than $120 this month for Cherry Street Mission. Ebert says bird flu is a factor in these increases, but these increases are mirroring what people see at home.
That's when we see people start to use the services at Cherry Street. We try to be prepared just by being aware of what's going on.
Ebert says right now they are looking at what alternatives are out there to keep the mission running within budget. A representative from the Islamic Food Bank says the organization does not rely on USDA funds, but is also preparing to see more people go to them for assistance. In studio, Megan Hartnett, WTOL 11.